What gold has done for me and lots of other people over time has it has been to provide purchasing power insurance
Mhm.
against the degradation that would occur in other parts of your portfolio if the circumstance uh, occurred that would allow that type of exponential increase in the gold price. That's why I own it. I'm not a trader. I own gold for insurance. If this continues, I think you'll see the gold stocks begin to bridge the gap that has occurred. In other words, gold has outperformed the gold stocks so far. I think gold is wonderful security. No other bank that I'm aware of.
The purchasing power of the world's major fiat currencies has significantly declined since the pandemic. In the US, due to the spike in inflation, Truflation estimates that the dollar has lost over a quarter of its purchasing power since January 2020. This surge in inflation, coupled with expectations of sustained higher inflation due to the decline in globalization, reshoring of supply chains, and increased competition for global commodities, some facing potential supply shortages, has led more investors to turn to hard assets as a hedge. To explore the most important trends and opportunities in hard assets today, we have RickRule, one of the most seasoned and respected natural resources investors. "I'm not a trader. I own gold for insurance," says RickRule. According to RickRule, what's going to happen in the gold space is simply greater fear. He believes people are going to look at the arithmetic around fear-denominated instruments, and they're going to be afraid. Gold prices were set for their second consecutive weekly gain on Friday, as recent U.S. economic data, showing signs of a slowdown in the world's largest economy, boosted bets for interest rate cuts from the Federal Reserve this year. Safe haven demand, driven by geopolitical and economic uncertainty, as well as persistent central bank buying, contributed to a rally in gold from March to May, taking spot prices to a record high of $2,449 on May 20th. RickRule said that if this continues, gold stocks will begin to bridge the gap that has occurred. In other words, gold has outperformed gold stocks so far. He explained that what gold has done for him and many others over time is provide purchasing power insurance against the degradation that would occur in other parts of the portfolio if the circumstances arose that allowed for such an exponential increase in the gold price. Let's delve into the video to gain further insights. Before we begin, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell icon to stay updated with the latest content.
I think what's going to happen in the gold space is simply greater fear. People are going to look at the arithmetic around fiat-denominated instruments, and they're going to be afraid. Uh, People are going to look at the probability that the Fed is going to have to lower interest rates in the face of persistently high inflation. Supply and demand of money, then the long bond absolutely gets crushed. If it doesn't, if the interest rate stays low, then what happens is the long bond gets crushed anyway, because the purchasing power of the distribution doesn't keep pace.
Yeah.
A really, truly lousy place to be. Um, the idea that there was no follow through, people are scratching their heads over. This is a big no brainer. There was no retail participation in the gold market, according to the statistics around the purchases and sales of ETFs, until 11 weeks ago. Now there is individual purchases of bullion in Western Europe and the United States, and traditionally these people, in addition to being bullion buyers, have been gold stock buyers. The truth is, I don't own gold because I think it might go from 23.75 to 25.38 or some number like that. I own gold because I'm afraid that it's going to 7,000 or 8,000 or $9,000. Life. And when I say afraid, Adam, I am actually afraid. I live a very good life, and the set of circumstances that would occur in a $9,000 gold world would be distinctly unpleasant. What gold has done for me and lots of other people over time has has been to provide purchasing power insurance
Mhm.
against the degradation that would occur in other parts of your portfolio. I think in the near term, surprisingly small. I think one knock-on effect may be the price of landed liquefied natural gas from the US into Europe, with the anticipation of the return of Russian gas.
Mhm.
I think the underlying problems that we face, both regards to supply and also there might be a downdraft in the gold price because people mistakenly believe that concern around geopolitics is responsible for the strength in gold.
Mhm.
My suspicion is that the budget pressures in the United States, even after peace in the Ukraine, would still be extraordinary. I think Congress would find something else to waste the money on.
Gold is retesting the lower border of a channel respected since October 2023. Silver has been retesting the mid-level of a channel that has been respected since October 2023. Based on his experience, RickRule said that bull markets for precious metals are typically kicked off by gold and fear buyers. When momentum is established and becomes attractive to generalist investors or greedy buyers, silver, due to its higher volatility and lower unit cost, takes over leadership. Some modest selling pressure in the US dollar is helping gold and silver prices find their footing at the start of the week, following robust volatility last week. Silver has been unable to hold gains above $30 an ounce, but has managed to maintain support above $29 an ounce. RickRule mentioned that in the current global economic environment, we are in a sweet spot where commodities have outpaced the companies, but the companies have still managed to maintain a sense of financial discipline. Now, let's redirect our attention to a video.
My experience has been that precious metals bull markets are kicked off by gold, by the fear buyer. When the momentum is established, particularly when the momentum becomes palatable to generalist investors, that is to say, the greed buyer. Silver, perhaps of its higher volatility, perhaps of its lower unit cost, takes over leadership. It moves further, it moves faster. We have seen a real move in the junior silver equities in the last 6 months, which suggests that silver might be, or the investors might be anticipating that move. Again, I think you have reversion to mean. A selection of the higher quality silver juniors 6 or 7 months ago literally could not get a bid. And maybe what you've seen in terms of the share price escalation is just that we've worn out the sellers rather than we've established buyers. But a silver bull market, a silver equities bull market, is truly, truly something to behold. I'm hoping to enjoy one more in my life. I remember well the decade of the 1970s when just one little stock, Coeur d'Alene Silver, which sadly I didn't own, went from 10 cents to $65.
My goodness.
If you move forward to the early 1990s bull market, a short bull market, two that I did own, Pan American Silver went from 50 cents to $40 in 6 years. Silver Standard went from 72 cents to over $40 in 6 years. People don't understand the magnitude of these precious metals equities markets. Now, I'm not suggesting that people crowd into every silver penny dreadful on the planet. People need to understand something about what makes a silver equity work. But a silver equities bull market is a truly wonderful and strange. Absent a global recession, I think we're in a real sweet spot here. The commodities have outpaced the companies. The companies have maintained some sense of financial discipline.
The global precious metals market is expected to witness significant growth in the coming years, driven by factors such as rising inflation, geopolitical tensions, and increasing demand for industrial applications. According to a report by Reports and Data, the market is projected to reach $307.94 billion by 2032, reflecting a steady growth trajectory. Are you more inclined to invest in gold or silver, given their respective roles in the current bull market? Why? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. If you found this content helpful, Give it a thumbs up, and remember to subscribe to stay updated. Thank you for being a part of this journey with us.